They thought they could walk away easily, leaving you to fade from memory, just like a Halloween mask they could remove, a character they could drop without a thought. Maybe they assumed you'd chase after them, demanding closure, but you left them with something they never expected: silence. A cold, unyielding silence that fills their world like an eerie fog. It's that silence, above all, that haunts them now, wrapping around them like a midnight chill on an empty street, making the world feel like it's holding its breath. Every quiet moment, every lull in their day is now shadowed by your absence, filling spaces they thought would be light with an unsettling weight. They thought you'd be easy to brush off, to shake loose and forget without a backward glance. But now it's they who find themselves staring into the void, haunted by everything left unsaid, every missed chance. It's ironic, isn't it? The silence they thought was meaningless has become the only thing they hear. There's a distinct fear in silence, the open-ended question, the empty darkness. Forced to confront their own reflections without the distraction of words or answers, they sit there trying to drown out that silence with noise, with any possible distraction, only to have it return like a ghost they can't exorcise. Your silence echoes louder than any words, mirroring back their own choices, their indifference, forcing them to confront truths they've long avoided. Each attempt to escape only deepens their regret, sending them through endless loops of wondering, picking through memories, trying to piece together what went wrong. They ache for closure, but it's just beyond their reach. And that's the twist: they're the ones haunted by the silence they underestimated. They thought you needed them, thought you'd return, desperate for their attention and approval. But instead you walked away, leaving not with drama, but with a silence more powerful than any argument. It says everything they need to hear, without giving a single answer, leaving them craving an ending they can't control. They would have loved a confrontation, anything that could justify their actions, that would paint them as the victim. By choosing silence, you denied them that narrative, leaving them alone with the truth they didn't want to face. In trying to leave you behind, they left a piece of themselves with you. And every forced smile, every hollow laugh is just another attempt to mask the emptiness left behind. They might convince themselves that they're fine, that none of this matters, but in those unguarded moments, the truth slips through. There's a void they can't fill, a lingering sense of loss they can't shake, and it reminds them of the strength they underestimated, the resilience they couldn't break. Let them live with that emptiness. Let them wrestle with the silence they assume would be easy to forget. Because in the end, it's not you who's haunted, it's them. You've moved forward, reclaimed your peace, your power, while they wander through the shadows, grappling with questions they'll never answer. That silence they once dismissed is now a shield for you, an armor against the chaos they left in their wake. And so let them sit with that realization, replaying every memory they took for granted, every moment of peace they'll never find again. Your silence isn't a wound, it's a testament to your strength, a choice they'll never control. They're haunted by the fear of what could have been, by the truth that you never needed them as much as they needed you. And as they grapple with that regret, with the unanswered questions, your silence has become your freedom, a victory they'll never comprehend. Let them linger in the shadows of what might have been, haunted by the person they once underestimated. Because that silence they once took for granted, it's now the loudest truth they'll ever hear. They might try to pretend they're free, filling the void with distractions and shallow connections. They'll seek out people, conversations, noise, anything to drown out the echoes of their own regret. But no matter where they turn, no matter who they try to replace you with, that silence remains, waiting patiently in every quiet corner of their mind. It lingers, a silent reminder of all that they let slip away. Day after day, it follows them like a shadow, an unseen mark of everything left unfinished, of every bridge burned and choice taken for granted. Imagine that they thought they'd walk away without a scar, that they could leave you behind without a second thought. Yet here they are, haunted by the hollow spaces they tried to fill. It's not your presence that taunts them now, it's the absence, the endless wondering of what might have been. And perhaps they'll never admit it, not to anyone else, maybe not even to themselves, but deep down, they know it's true. They feel the weight of every memory, every overlooked moment, every possibility they closed off. They know that what they've lost isn't replaceable, that it's not something they can simply forget. Let them wrestle with that truth. Let them spend their nights searching for an answer they'll never find, haunted by the realization that, while they thought they were moving on, it's really you who's free. Free to grow, to rise above the noise, to live without the burden of what they left behind. You've built something new, something powerful, out of the silence they underestimated. And while they stumble through the past, tangled in regrets and memories they can't escape, you move forward with purpose, with peace, untouched by their chaos. So let them carry that silence, that weight of everything unspoken, of every truth they failed to see. Because in the end, that silence is no longer just a reminder of their choices, it's a testament to your strength, your resilience, your ability to walk away. It's the final chapter of a story they thought they could control, but in their attempt to cast you aside, they gave you something they could never take back: your own freedom. And as they sit there, faced with the silence they once dismissed, it grows into something they never anticipated. It's not just emptiness, it's a mirror reflecting all the parts of themselves they'd rather avoid. Every time they look away, try to bury it in noise or distraction, it reappears, stronger, clearer, echoing everything they didn't have the courage to face. Now, every choice they made is laid bare, every careless moment replayed, filling their mind with unanswered questions that only amplify the silence they can't shake. They might try to convince themselves it's all in the past, that they're untouched by the weight of your absence. But that's the irony: they carry it with them, whether they acknowledge it or not. It's there, quietly reminding them of what they've lost, of what they'll never find again. The world they left behind is one they can no longer return to, and that realization lands with the weight of everything unspoken, everything unresolved. It's not a chapter they can simply close, because your silence is etched into their memory, deeper and more permanent than any words could have ever been. So let them keep searching, trying to fill the void you left with temporary fixes, hollow substitutes. Let them walk into each new relationship, each fleeting connection, wondering why it never feels enough. They'll laugh, smile, pretend as if the silence doesn't exist, but in the quiet moments when they're alone with their thoughts, they feel it gnawing at the edges of their mind. It's a shadow they can't shake, a reminder they can't ignore: the undeniable truth that what they lost can't be replaced, can't be forgotten. Because you see, while they cling to illusions, hoping to forget, you've built something real, something resilient. Your silence has become more than just the absence of words, it's a declaration of self-worth, an embodiment of strength they couldn't break. You are no longer bound by the weight of what they left unresolved. Instead, you're free, walking forward with a strength that's entirely yours, leaving them to wrestle with the echoes of what they'll never regain. In the end, that silence will remain with them, long after they've faded from your memory, the haunting reminder of everything they took for granted.